So now, I'm wondering, like, who should win Finals MVP right now? Because, because you got Anthony Davis, who is basically the X factor, right? I mean, there's no one on the Heat who can guard Anthony Davis, right? Just based off of size alone, Myers Leonard, Kelly Olynyk. I mean, they do not have people who can guard Anthony Davis. I mean, yeah, Bam can, he's pretty good in defense and stuff, whatnot, but he's injured, right? His shoulder's messed up. If he plays next game, like, dude, like, he might be a decoy. I don't know what he'll be, but it's not looking good. Not looking good, right? And he said, and from what I've heard, he doesn't like needles, so he doesn't take painkillers or whatnot. I guess. So, just by judging off their play, I have a feeling they're just gonna give it to LeBron James, right? Or LeBron James is out to win the Finals MVP, no matter what. No matter what, right? Because LeBron James wants to get LeBron James had a legendary career, right? At the end of the day, he'll probably be the number one scorer of all time. He'll have 10K assists, 10K rebounds. He'll have the career output of that, triple double stat line while being the number one scorer all time past Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? That's what LeBron James wants, right? So everything, including additional, like stuff like Finals MVP and champions, like he wants that because in his mind, like, he wants to validate himself as the greatest player of all time, right? I mean, he said it in that special where he says, "Oh, I beat it, the greatest team of all time in, the Golden State Warriors of 2016. Like, that made me the greatest player of all time." Like, come on, bro. Like, newsflash, people who actually watch basketball, who've known basketball history, the 2016 Warriors are not the greatest team of all time, bro. For you to be the greatest team of all time, you have to win the championship. It has to be in totality, right? Everything needs to be included. So if you beat the greatest team of all time, doesn't the Cavaliers would have the reputation of being the greatest team of all time, right? Because you're supposed to, win it all. Like, there's arguments of the 1985 Lakers being the greatest team of all time, the 87 Celtics. Or am I mixing up the 85 Celtics and then 87 Lakers? They might be mixing that up. But, those teams, greatest team of all time, the 96 Bulls, what's the common, denominator of those teams, right? They won the championship in the end. That's what makes them the greatest team of all time because they reached the finishing line, right? In totality, their records, their players, everything. That's what makes them the greatest team of all time. So, for him to say that, it's just, a narrative he wants to push in order to, surpass Michael Jordan. So that's why he wants the Finals MVP, right? Now, on the side of Anthony Davis, right? What if Anthony Davis wins, Finals MVP, right? That would, throw a lot of wrenches in, the debates of, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, right? Because, Anthony Davis is scoring output like super efficient, super dominant. I mean, this dude's literally sleepwalking to the Finals MVP. I mean, he's averaging 60%, right? So, like, when people say, like, oh, to disregard Anthony Davis, like, yeah, of course he's averaging those numbers, right? Because LeBron James is making it easy for him. Well, the thing is, like, Anthony Davis has always put up those kind of statistics numbers, right? Like, wouldn't you also flip the argument that the reason why, LeBron James is able to do what he does easier is because of the threat of Anthony Davis, who's one of the best, lob threats of all time, right? I mean, this dude, Anthony Davis, is putting up statistic numbers, have always put up statistic numbers on the likes of Hakeem Olajuwon. There's no question about it, right? It's just that his impact on his teams was never on the likes of Hakeem Olajuwon. It's just the statistical output was on a similar range. That's what makes, the confusing part Anthony Davis. Like, he is just a monster stack accumulator. Well, he can do everything statistic wise, but the impact wise was never the same on the likes of like certain great players, right? So, Anthony Davis always put up monster numbers, right? So now there's that two arguments of, because LeBron James' playmaking is, putting up this kind of stat line, and Anthony Davis putting the stat line, like, who's gonna win? Like for me, I'm thinking like the Finals MVP is looking like it should go to Anthony Davis. I mean, this is just my opinion, right? Like, Anthony Davis is literally the person who's making, the Heat crumble right now. Right? If you just look at it, like, just when LeBron sits and whatnot, like, Anthony Davis is having his way. Any day, all the time. Anyone who's defending him, it's too easy. It's too easy, man. Anthony Davis making it too easy. I mean, this dude.
Come on, man. That's too easy.
At points is shooting 90%.
Wow, bro. That's crazy.
All right, like, shooting 90%. I mean, this dude's plus minus is off the chart. He's always had off the chart plus and minus, like, efficiency or whatnot, right? I mean, this dude can do it all. He's showing his versatility, defending, and everything. And I think he should win Finals MVP. I mean, they're feeding him. They're basically feeding him due to the fact that no one can stop him right now. No one can stop him. He's making it easy for everyone right now because the rebound, he's out rebounding the Heat offensively, out rebounding the Heat. He's taking it to them by getting putbacks like nothing. He's taking open threes. He's taking open threes as well. I mean, dude, like, the Miami Heat defense is looking pretty suspect right now. So, does LeBron James have a case for Finals MVP? Sure, yes, of course he does, right? And when you put in that kind of numbers, 30, 99, and like, whatever he put like in game one, it's it's great. It's great numbers and whatnot. But Anthony Davis out here looking like Shaquille O'Neal against the Nets, right? I mean, this dude is putting up crazy numbers. But for me personally, they ain't gonna give it to him. That's just my opinion. They're not gonna give it to Anthony Davis because the voters are gonna vote for LeBron James based off of narrative. I mean, you got like people like Ramona Shelburne and like, you know, Rachel Nichols trying to push a narrative.
I actually didn't. I think Giannis will win both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. I did not vote for him for MVP. I voted for LeBron James because I tend to be more of a narrative-based voter, and I feel like LeBron James took a Lakers team that had missed the playoffs 6 years in a row up to the top spot in the West after all of the dysfunction of the summer before. So I think he gets credit for that as well. But you know, Richard, unfortunately, most people are not narrative-based voters like you and I. So I think he will win both those awards.
Love it.
You know, Mike Greenberg, oh my God, you know, year 17, blah, blah, blah. He's putting up these kind of numbers. Bro, this is the NBA, right? Who cares about your age? We care about your output, right? Like, that's why the narrative of, you know, LeBron James winning regular season MVP, like, who cares about that, right? Like, you have no argument of year 17 and whatnot. You have no argument against Giannis. Giannis, like, every argument you can make for LeBron, like there's like 5 arguments to counter argue that point. Like, Giannis was easily the regular season MVP. And now you got Anthony Davis, the conundrum now of, you know, finals MVP, where they're going to give it to LeBron James. Like, they're just waiting right now. They're waiting for Anthony Davis to fuck up one game. Just one game where they can slightly tilt the favorites or towards LeBron James. It's just that feeling I have. Like is LeBron James, you know, great? Absolutely. But there's no shame in, you know, having a other greater player who's experiencing better numbers and everything to win Finals MVP, right? And that's just my opinion, right? I mean, like, have the voters, you know, fucked up? Absolutely, dude. Like, you know, in 2015, Steph Curry should have won Finals MVP, right? Iguodala win MVP was just bullshit. Like, Steph Curry was averaging like 26 points, like 26, like 8 and 7 or some shit like that. It was something on the range of like great offensive numbers. But, you know, obviously, you know, the narrative was hey, you know, Iggy was the one guarding LeBron James. Like, he was like, you know, clapping him to like 35% or something where, you know, every time you put Iguodala on LeBron James, he shot like 35%. But if anyone else guarded him, he shot like 55% or something. So it kind of like averaged out to like decent numbers, something of that sort. So they gave it to Iguodala, and I'm like, dude, that was terrible. That was a terrible, you know, 2015 voting blunder, in my opinion. And I think it's highly regarded as a blunder because Steph Curry deserved it in 2015. And then you got this conundrum going to happen right now. It's just, a lot of these voting awards are just narrative based, or they want to push a narrative, and they have their own agenda. And, you know, we'll see what happens right now in Game 3 today. You know, after, you know, a lot of the NFL games, I guess. I think they're playing today. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're just, I think, you know, Anthony Davis should win Finals MVP, but, you know, they don't give it to him. I guess they just want to push this argument for LeBron James, right? In regards to all time.